The woman sits on a hard metal bench at the bus station, her feet placed close together, her hands wrapped around a small cloth bag. The bag looks light, like it carries almost nothing. Yet she holds it as if it matters more than anything else. A bus pulls in with a loud hiss, doors open, people step off, others rush on. No one looks at her. When the bus leaves, dust hangs in the air for a moment, then settles. She lifts her head and looks down the road again. Not in a hurry, not in fear, just watching. Another bus comes. Another one goes. Time moves, but she does not. Her eyes search every passing face, every moving shadow. Sometimes her lips part, as if she is about to call out, but she never does. She straightens her back, then relaxes again. Her grip tightens on the bag. She tells herself to wait a little longer. Maybe he is late. Maybe he is coming back. Hope stays with her, quiet but firm, even as the bench grows colder beneath her and the road stays empty. The question hangs in the air, unspoken but heavy. Why is she sitting here alone? The bus station sits on the edge of a small town where days pass, slowly, and nothing much happens. A single road cuts through the place, lined with closed shops and faded signs. It is either early in the morning or close to night, the kind of hour when the world feels half asleep. The air is cold, brushing against her skin, or dry with dust that sticks to shoes and clothes. A weak light hums above the platform, flickering now and then. There are no crowds, no noise beyond the sound of engines and distant dogs barking. This is not a place where people stop for long. They arrive, they leave. The silence makes every small sound feel loud. In this quiet space, the woman feels even smaller, like she could disappear and no one would notice. She's around 70, though her face makes her look older than her years. Her body is thin and tired, shaped by long days of work and short nights of rest. Her clothes are clean but worn, the kind that have been washed too many times. Her shoes are old yet neatly tied. What stands out most are her eyes. They are sharp, alert, still full of life. These eyes have seen joy and loss, good days and bad ones, and they have learned how to wait. She does not fidget or complain. She sits with patience, trusting that what she was told will come true. In her bag are no valuable things, just a few personal items and memories she cannot put down. She thinks about the past more than the future, about the child she raised, the meals she cooked, the nights she stayed awake. She believes in promises because she always kept her own. For now, she does not cry. She does not blame anyone. She simply waits, holding on to the trust that brought her here. Her son is not a bad man, at least not in the way people like to imagine. Life has been heavy on his shoulders for a long time. Bills wait every month. Work never seems enough. His days are filled with worry, his nights with tired thoughts he cannot quiet. Caring for an old parent feels like one more weight he does not know how to carry. He loves his mother, but love does not remove fear or stress. It only makes them more confusing. When he brought her here, he told himself it was temporary. Just a short stop, just a quick task. He promised her he would come back in a few minutes. He even smiled when he said it, trying to sound sure. In his mind, he was not running away. He was buying time, time to breathe, time to think, time to figure out a life that feels out of control. He did not plan to hurt her. He only wanted the pressure to ease, even if only for a moment. He walks away from the bench and tells her not to move. "I'll be right back," he says, like it is nothing. She nods and watches his back grow smaller as he blends into the crowd. Minutes pass. She shifts slightly but stays seated. Another bus arrives, then another leaves. She looks at her phone, then at the road again. Maybe the line was long. Maybe he met someone he knows. She waits. Time stretches in a strange way, slow and thick. The light above her hums. The station feels colder now. She checks her phone again and presses the call button. No answer. She tries once more. The screen goes dark. His phone is off. Her chest tightens, but she pushes the feeling away. He wouldn't leave her. Not like this. She tells herself that again and again. Each time it sounds weaker. The road stays empty. The silence grows louder, and slowly, without words, the truth begins to settle in. She does not cry right away. Instead, her mind fills with questions. She looks down at her hands and thinks of all the years they worked for him. She remembers feeding him, teaching him, protecting him when he was small. She wonders if she asked for too much, if she talked too much, if she became a problem instead of a mother. Maybe she should have noticed the signs earlier. Maybe she should have stayed quiet. These thoughts come one by one, soft but painful. She feels shame before anger, guilt before sadness. She tells herself this must be her fault somehow. She sits still, afraid to move, afraid that leaving the bench would make it real. Hope fades slowly, not all at once. And in that quiet space, surrounded by strangers who do not see her, she carries the weight of love, regret, and a question she cannot answer. Where did I go wrong? The woman has been sitting in the same spot for a long time now. Her posture has not changed. Her bag still rests on her lap. That is what makes the stranger notice her. A woman from a nearby shop, or maybe a bus driver on break, slows down and looks twice. Most people move, check phones, stand up, sit down. This old woman does none of that. The stranger walks closer and asks a simple question, nothing deep. Are you waiting for someone? The voice is gentle, not curious in a rude way. The old woman looks up, surprised, then nods. A few words pass between them. Nothing heavy, just small talk. But it matters. For the first time in hours, someone sees her. Someone speaks to her like she exists. The stranger does not rush to fix things. She does not offer big help or loud comfort. She just stays there for a moment. That quiet kindness breaks the long silence and reminds the old woman she is not invisible. After the stranger leaves, the old woman sits alone again, but something inside her has shifted. She takes a slow breath and looks around the station with clearer eyes. The waiting has drained her, but it has also taught her something. She understands now that begging will not bring her dignity back. Chasing someone who chose to leave will only deepen the hurt. With shaking hands, she lifts her bag and places it beside her feet. She straightens her back the way she used to when times were hard. She tells herself she has survived worse than this. She does not need to raise her voice or fall apart to prove her pain. Strength, she realizes, does not always shout. Sometimes it sits quietly on a cold bench and chooses to stand up anyway. She makes a decision, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Whatever comes next, she will face it on her own feet. Hours later, the son feels a weight he cannot explain. The quiet he wanted does not bring peace. It feels empty. He checks his phone and sees missed calls. His chest tightens. A picture forms in his mind. His mother still sitting there, still waiting. Guilt rushes in, heavy and sharp. He tells himself he needed space, that life was too much. But the excuses sound weak now. He turns the car around. He drives back to the station, his thoughts loud and restless. When he arrives, the bench is empty. Panic takes hold. He asks around. No one knows where she went. The fear settles deep, not loud, not dramatic, just a cold truth. He understands now what he has done. Some losses do not shout. They stay silent, and that silence is harder to live with. The old woman is safe. She does not end up rich or surrounded by comfort. Her life remains simple, but she finds a place where she is treated with care, where her presence is not a burden. People listen when she speaks. She helps where she can and rests when she needs to. Some nights are still lonely. Some memories still hurt. But she sleeps without fear. She wakes up knowing she chose herself when it mattered. Her life is not perfect, and it never was. Yet there is peace in knowing she stood tall in a moment meant to break her. That is enough. Some people don't leave because they stop caring. Sometimes they leave because they are scared, tired, or lost. And sometimes those who are left behind carry the pain in silence. This story is not about blame. It is about choice. It is about how we treat the people who once held our hands when we could not stand. Strength is not always loud or proud. Often the strongest hearts are the quiet ones that endure, forgive, and move forward without applause. If this story made you pause, maybe it is reminding you of someone who is still waiting to be seen.